Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to day 2 of our challenge, and today's focus is before the letters, what your child should know. Okay, learn the skills that comes before reading itself. One of the mistakes most parents make is you just want to jump to reading. However, there are steps before finally teaching your child to read that would make it easy bi'idhnillah. So let's dive in. Before your child can read, they must learn how to understand and use language. This starts from how you talk with them every day. Remember in yesterday's session, I made mention of reading aloud to your children. Um, and also, I said learning the language starts from listening. So it's not first reading, it starts from listening. So you narrate what you do to your children. For example, you want to wash hands, let's wash your hands. Okay, water on when you are opening the tap, soap when you are adding the soap, rub, while you are trying to teach them how to wash their hand properly. Okay, in between the fingers, the back of your hands, as you what you do, you express it. Now it's time to rinse. Let's rinse off the soap or whatever it is. So let's wash your hand, water on, soap. This continue with the process, rub, now rinse. So it depends on what activity you are doing, it depends on what you are doing at the moment. All right, so you can also label the world around them. For example, when you are going out, you see a cat, that's a cat. That's the cat says meow. Look at its tail, and you talk about the cat. Like this, by so doing, your children are building their vocabulary. You are depositing words in their word bank. So when they want to use it, be in they open their mouths, they are able to express themselves because you have done it over time. Talk about what happened yesterday. For example, we bought apple yesterday. The apple was red, the apple is round. You brush your teeth yesterday, stuffs like that. This process teaches your child sentence patterning, vocabulary, and memory. Okay, so go for it, mama. Make sure you deposit enough word every day. The next thing I'll be talking about is the listening game. Okay, what you should know is that reading begins with listening. Children have to listen well to be able to decode words later on. So you want to try the simple 3 games with your children. One of it is mom. For example, you are a mom or you are the caregiver or you are whatever position you are. You are giving a child the direct instruction. Selim, touch your nose. Selim, touch your ears. Okay, so these activities build attention and direction following. Children learn to follow simple instruction with these simple activities. The second one is sound on. Like, okay, you just sit quietly and ask the child, what do you hear? You can kind of make a quick sound, something like ah, and you keep quiet, and what did you hear? And of course that sound ah. Okay, and probably is a fan starting and you switch off the fan and you ask, what sound did you hear? The child should be able to say, I hear the, or some distance noise that you make, or you just make a sound and you keep quiet and you ask the child, what do you hear? All right, and the third one is story stretch. During your read aloud session, you pause, you ask questions. Okay, so when you are doing your next read aloud, ask your child, what do you think would happen next? Of course, probably a book you've read over time or something you feel they should be able to comprehend. Remember, you are teaching reading, you should teach comprehension alongside, right? So these activities help children to learn to decode. Um, often mistake parents make often is that you just want to go straight to teaching the letter sound, letting your child decode just like that, without preparing their listening, without preparing their phonemic awareness, which that's what we are going to be talking about next soonest. All right, so you do not want to put yourself in situation where you just go straight into the coding. So now let's talk about phonemic awareness. Okay, so here, okay, let's say what phonemic awareness is. Phonemic awareness is simply the ability to hear sound and play with sound in words. Okay, not letter yet, just sound. So we are not talking about the A, B, C, D, E, F. We are talking about the A, B, D, E, F, G, and so on. Okay, we are talking about the sound. We are not talking about A, B, C, D. Okay, so hands-on idea you can have here. You can actually clap, like just like we did syllable when we were in schools, sorry. So you have tomatoes, you understand. Let them start to, or die, no. So how do we do the syllable of that? We have three claps like that, so you let them follow you. You rhyme. You read stories that rhyme. What are rhymes? Like son, fun, run, born, all these things, they are rhymes. Make a rhyme box, like you can have a place where you stick the same sounds, like hat, cat, mat, bat, pat, and so on. And also you want to beginning sound of letter of words. So you can say something like, what sound does ball start with? And you intentionally, when you are calling, you can say something like but emphasis on the b when you are trying. So your child starts without even learning to read yet, they are already decoding. Just imagine when you now dive in to teaching reading proper, how your child will function well in la. So you can also hold an object and let your child tell you what the name is. You can see a cat and ask your child, what sound does a cat make? Okay, all right. So next we are talking about today's main activity, which is guess that sound. Sorry, guess that sound. All right, so you can actually um probably have your child on the back, or they have their high hands cover their face, just anyhow that will make it fun. And you can just have a key, and you make the the sound of a key, and ask your child, what can you hear? What sounds can you hear? All right, you can make you can shake a bottle, ask your child, what sound can you hear? You can pour water from a cup and ask your child, what sound can you hear? And of course, before this, you must have let your child be familiar with sound of some of these things. So you can't give what you don't have. You bring from a place of where something has been deposited before. So due to their hands-on activities, their playtime, they must have gone through all this stuff. While growing up, they have all these toys, the keys. If you can make bottles, you can take those plastic bottles, stuff, put in as some amount of water. You can make sure it is sealed, for Allah's sake. Okay, you can have beads in there, and then when they shake it, they get sounds. Okay, while growing up. So at this point, when you want to start asking this question, they also should have like a pouring activities. When you're on a tray, you would have a jug and a cup or whatever it is, so they learn to pour. All right, you can also ask them, questions. You can actually probably pour coins in a bowl, you know that sound it will make, or you eat a bowl with a spoon, and ask them. All these are activities a child should do while growing up, because this not only build their phonemic awareness, not only strengthen their listening skill, but also is a sensory activities that activates your child core sense organs like the touching, the listening, the hearing, and all of that. All right, so you can also have animal sounds. All right, you can say meow. What animal make that sound? Woof, woof, woof. What animal make that sound? Sss. What animal makes that sound? The first is a cat, the second is a dog, and the last was a snake. Abi is a snake. All right, so let your child close their eyes, like I said, or whatever it is. Also, beats. When you pour beats, there is a way they make their sound, so you can just be as simple as granite if you don't have access to beat. So while pouring, and you enjoy the granite as well. While playing the game, you can as well switch role, where you be in position of your child and your child be in your position. It makes it super easy. And today's task for you, inshallah, which I want to get your feedback. I want to, on the WhatsApp group, on the Telegram group, um I want to see your feedback. I want to hear your feedback on how it went, what you uncover, and so on. So you want to pick one activities from all we've talked about today. All right, we talk about the what, type it out. Let me see if you follow how you will not repeat that. All right, so let me see if you are also building your listening skills, right? So um let's get serious, right? So choose one of these activities that we've talked about, and you know or you can also do that, guess that sound, like I've said, or the listening game. I'm already repeating it, or the rhymes, and try it with your child. Then come to the group, post, today I played dash game. Probably you play the guess that sound game with your child, and let's hear what happened. So I would love to hear what happened during these activities with your children. Okay, so it doesn't have to be perfect, just consistency, sisters. So and what activities are you going to begin with? I would love to hear that as well. All right, see you tomorrow. Idnila. Remember, we are not just nurturing, we are nurturing a heart that will one day read the Quran. Idnila, spread the gospel, and all of that. So the foundation is teaching them to read. All right, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.